Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very special episode of Free Refill because it is Free Refill episode number 50. Just a great number. Absolutely phenomenal. 50 episodes of Free Refill. And this one's a doozy. I gotta say, this one is a huge episode for many reasons. Number one, of course, it is the 50th episode. But number two, it is officially the start of the NFL free agency tampering period. There have been at least 30, at least 40 to 50 deals that have already gone down today. I will try to get to every single one of them, whether it's my thoughts in 5 seconds or my thoughts over 5-10 minute speech. I've got a lot to get into in terms of all of the free agents that we have seen either get signed, get traded, all of this. I mean, it's been bananas. It's already been an incredible start, and it started on Friday with Max Crosby, and it's been rolling ever since. So, really, it honestly started before that. It started with Trent McDuffie, it started with DJ Moore, and then Max Crosby was the big balloon burst, and then it has just, it's one of my favorite times because it feels like everybody has a chance to get closer to, well, I mean, for some, just getting better. Let's say getting better. So I'm very excited to see that. Shout out to you guys being here if you guys are here. Marcus and Easton, let me get you all your round of applause. Thank you all for pulling up to a free refill. Marcus saying, the Tennessee Giants taking over. Dude, Brian Dable's there. They got Wan'Dale Robinson there. Daniel Bellinger's heading to the Titans. I'm excited to see what maybe Cam Ward improves just by being friends with some New York Giants. And then Easton saying, what's up, Easton? Glad to have you out here for a big episode of Free Refill. I'm going to be getting into as much of it as I can. I got my main three that I really want to get into, and then I'll be firing it off rapid fire, team by team, player by player. It's going to be a good time, so stick around, grab yourself a water, grab yourself a beverage, grab yourself your dinner, and let's jump right into it. I'm going to probably end up needing more water than that, but you know what? I'm ready to roll, and we're rolling off with a big one. We got to start with the main course that kind of kicked off the entirety of this free agency, and that was the trading Max Crosby. The Raiders send Max Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens. He stays within the American Football Conference. He stays within the AFC, and the Ravens give up their 2026 first-round pick and their 2027 first-round pick to acquire the Raiders all-pro pass rusher. From the Ravens' perspective, I mean, this defense should be incredibly impressive when we're looking at, first of all, you're going to have Max Crosby up front. You're going to have Roquan Smith in the middle, and you're going to have Kyle Hamilton on the back end. So you're going to have 3 all-pro level players at each position. Not to mention offensively, you still have Derrick Henry. You still have Lamar Jackson coming back. You did lose Linderbaum, we'll get into that as well, but you still have a very dynamic offense, and you've got a new head coach. All of this tells me, hey, Lamar, chop chop. It's Super Bowl time. There's never going to be any better opportunity. And especially because right now, listen, Lamar's is 29 right now. He will be 30 by the start of next year. So I think turns 30 in January 7th. So he turned 29 earlier this year. He'll be 30 at the start of 2027. He's got to start putting in the work. He's got to start, not that he hasn't put in the work. That's not the right phrasing. This needs to be put up or shut up time. This needs to be the Ravens year because listen, I saw what the Bengals are doing, not interesting free agency. I've seen what Cleveland's doing, not impressive free agency so far. And I've seen what Pittsburgh is doing, but I'm a Steelers fan. I know it's always going to feel generally very lateral. And by the way, this Baltimore team couldn't even get by those 8 and 9 Steelers with Aaron Rodgers. So this is, again, another huge improving move. They've moved off John Harbaugh. That's not a possible, scapegoat anymore. Lamar has to step up and be getting to the Super Bowl. You have too much talent on this Ravens team for that not to be the case. That's where it needs to be. Lamar's got to step up. Lamar's got to get him there because if he doesn't, and I mean, to be fair, Josh Allen should be getting some of that same critique too. But the difference is I'm looking at Lamar's roster. I'm looking at how good this defense is going to be next year. If this defense is as good as we think it is, and Baltimore's still like a division round exit or an early wild card exit, you can't keep making this up. You can't keep making up excuses. I think a lot of pressure is going to be on Lamar this year. Definitely some pressure on Minter as well, because he has to get that defense locked in with the players that he's going to have, and that defense needs to be very good. But if I'm looking at Lamar, I'm telling you right now, listen, you got to step up, boss. You got to step up and be the man, get this team to the Super Bowl. Easton saying, I think I'm the only viewer on Twitch. Probably. It's small over there, man. We gotta up the numbers. We gotta up the numbers everywhere. Up here on YouTube and on Twitch. So come on, guys. Make sure you're just freaking hit the subscribe button. Come on. It's so easy. It's so easy, dude. A 2-year-old could do it. Come on. Like you can't hit the follow or subscribe button. I can't help you. And then. Of course, Lamar, I think he's under a lot of pressure. On the Raiders' perspective of the Max Crosby trade, 2 first-round picks. You're going to get the 14th pick this year, and you already have the number 1 overall pick you're going to spend on Mendoza. I'll get into what they've done free agency, which I'm already really impressed by so far. They're definitely making sure it's set up for Mendoza to succeed. Now they'll have another pick they can use on either a pass catcher, probably another lineman, I would, in my personal opinion, but that's just me. Clint Kubiak's looking to set up a situation where, hey, Mendoza, we want to make it as easy as possible for you. And by moving Crosby, you're going to have extra draft capital this year to go out and get either, a younger defensive player, but really, I think it should be offense. I think it should be a wide receiver. I think it should be someone on the offensive line. One of the Ute linemen, if they're still available. I think one of the Ute linemen is like projected like top 5. Another one of the Utah linemen is down in either, I think it's late teens or early 20s. But I'm saying it this way: if the Raiders can nail that 14th pick and get like another high caliber player to pair with Fernando Mendoza, you're gonna have Bowers, you're gonna have your boy Jinsey, and then of course, as we know, they added Linderbaum. We'll get into that later as well. It's going to be a very dynamic, and it should be interesting for the Raiders. I think they're definitely taking the right steps to make Mendoza good. They're taking the right steps to make sure, hey, Mendoza, he's going to have a veteran center with him. We're going to have another first-round pick to get more talent around him. It's going to be interesting to see what they end up looking like overall. Easton saying talk about the Chiefs. Man, I don't want to talk about no Chiefs. We'll get to it. We'll get to Kenneth Walker. There's a lot of big stuff I want to get into first, though, and then we'll round up with the Chiefs, Easton. I got you on that. We'll get there. But big win for overall, though, for both the Raiders and the Ravens acquiring Max, but the pressure's going to be on Lamar. Second thing I want to get into, one of the more fun ones that I've been sort of hyping, Malik the Dolphin Willis. Now, I honestly thought that Malik was going to end up in Minnesota, mainly for the fact that Justin Jefferson is there, the fact that Kevin O'Connell is there, the fact that it's an incredibly offensive-minded coach, but Malik decides to go with his guys, the guys that were vouching for him, and guys like Jeff Hafley, and a couple others as well. Wants to go where the Packers staff went, and that makes sense. And I mean, listen, I think there's a lot of promise to Willis. I think with his ability to run, he showed he was more accurate in Green Bay. Matt LaFleur clearly helped them out. And the pricing on Willis was cheaper than I think a lot of people expected. I think a lot of people were expecting numbers in $30 million per year, like minimum. Like that's where things were almost either maxing out or starting at. So what Miami got him at, I thought was very fortunate for them, because I mean, obviously you don't want to overpay another quarterback after the fiasco you had with Tua Tagovailoa being a $99.2 million cap hit. So for them to get Malik Willis at a reasonable price, for them to get someone that is a little bit, honestly, let's be honest, more athletic. I mean, we saw him running around with the Packers. I felt like he was very poised, especially coming in off the bench against the Chicago Bears. He looked good there. Overall, very solid get for the Miami Dolphins. I think very important that they were able to at least get something at the quarterback position, because I do not think Dolphin fans wanted, as I get he might be a fan favorite, Quinn Ewers, But if you're being honest, I don't think you want to trot him out week one as your starting guy. I think Malik Willis shows a lot more upside. I think it'll be way more. I think it'll be overall way more. And it'll be entertaining. Like, I think Malik will just be entertaining. He feels like a good fit with the Dolphins. Jeff Hafley trusts him. I'm excited to see it. I know my friend, my Dolphins fan, Diamond, who's come on the show before, is going to be very excited for Malik. I think Malik just provides a different level to the offense that I don't think Tua ever could, whether it was McDaniel or Hafley now, who's going to be taking over as head coach. So I'm excited to see it. The Dolphin, Malik Willis, ready to go. As a lot of my friends also are just Malik Willis simps. I like Malik. I don't like him that much, but they're definitely Malik Willis simps, so I'm sure they're happy to see him get paid. Rounding out the third major thing I want to get into, being that I am a resident Steelers fan, I want to talk this trade, and then I'll get into each trade, like kind of each move individually and kind of run up through them like kind of speed run style a little bit. Michael Pittman, the Pitt Man. Yes. And also no, and I'll tell you why. So, first of all, number one, as a Steelers fan, this gives me flashbacks of Dante Moncrief. Just even the way he kind of like has the same almost haircut as Dante Moncrief just gives me flashbacks, and Moncrief wasn't, for those who don't know, Moncrief wasn't very good. But we're now adding Michael Pittman. I think he is going to be solid. The Colts did this for a couple obvious reasons. Number one, they wanted to pay Alec Pierce, and number two, they had to let some cap space go, so they had to free up, I think it was $24 million in cap to get rid of Michael Pittman. That they freed up $24 million so they can go pay Alec Pierce, and that's why Pittsburgh got him for next to nothing. It was basically just a late round pick swap. For Pittsburgh, this is good because literally their wide receiver twos they were trotting out were either Calvin Austin, who I like as a return man, but is very small and gets hurt very quickly, and Roman Wilson, who so far in 2 years did one thing that I of note to remember, and it was, well, two things. Number one, when I was at the Green Bay game, he caught a touchdown that I didn't really feel like was a touchdown, and the other one being playing against the Colts and going for one of the stupidest hurdles I've ever seen and turning the ball over. So they needed help at wide receiver position. And the funny thing is, I don't really think either of them are wide receiver ones at this point. Michael Pittman kind of became the wide receiver two after what Alec Pierce was doing. And then DK Metcalf just doesn't feel like a one at all, like anymore. Like, especially after some of the things he was doing in that playoff game. Like, he dropped a wide open pass. I was like, all right, buddy. All right, start. You're going to China, brother. We're sending you to the Chinese team. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But I think with Michael Pittman, it's going to open things up significantly, especially the underneath passing game, which Rodgers just is going to pretty much be all about. That's kind of his deal there. That's what it's going to be. I do very much hope that this opens up the offense to some extent. I don't know by how much, though. I just like the fact that it's Michael. It's not only the fact that it's Pittman, but also apparently his wife had a dream a month ago about it, which is also kind of crazy. So food for thought. Maybe his wife's got psychic abilities. The Steelers also made a couple other moves. We'll get into each of them individually. I'm not sure how I want to do it. Go by teams or individual free agent pickups. I think I'll start with teams, and then if you guys just want to rattle off teams, free agencies I want to talk about, then I'll go there. I will get to Easton's, though, talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. Couple things on, I guess, Kansas City specifically. So we'll just kind of go through the whole free agency, because we got the whole next 45 minutes to kind of just talk about some of the big free agent pickups. And there are a couple things that I do got to mention about last year's free agency as well that also bother me. But let me get into we'll start in the AFC West then, if we're going to start with the Chiefs. I know that Travis Kelce's back. The Travis Kelce's coming back out of retirement. 1 year, $12 million. To be completely honest, if I'm Travis Kelce, I don't know why $12 million. I mean, if I were Travis, I would have, especially if I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, right? Like at a certain point, I would want to almost have my cap be essentially as low as possible. Like maybe not vet minimum, but I'm a little shocked because, especially now because it's also going to have a max value of $15 million. I mean, he was going to stay regardless. He was either going to retire or stay in Kansas City. I doubt he was going to play for another team. He'll do what he does. He'll put up another probably anywhere between 700 and 900 yards next year. He'll be part of that offense, but I do think Kansas City does need to find another source of offense, and they did. They went out and got Kenneth Walker. Now, did they overpay? Yes. Yes, they did. It was 3 years, $45 million. That puts him at 15 mil per average salary for running backs, which is fourth only behind, I think, Saquon, Henry, and CMC. And listen, Kenneth Walker doesn't really do a whole lot of catching out of the backfield, but they needed a better running back. They overpaid, sure, but you could have been a lot worse, because when you think about the fact that they were trotting out Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, that was disastrous. It was disastrous to see those two run the ball. Like, Kareem Hunt looked like, when I watched Najee Harris run for the Steelers, it felt like he was wearing jeans. Kareem Hunt must have been wearing like full-on like 100-pound ankle weights with the way he was running the ball last year. And then Isaiah Pacheco would just go backwards on some plays. I was like, what are we doing? So definitely an upgrade for the Chiefs in every position at the running back position. And one of the interesting things, especially too, like I saw Travis Etienne got a big contract. I'll talk about that as well. But the running back market is very much sought after right now. And part of the reason, I think, in my opinion, is number one, there's a few good backs. But number two, the understanding that teams are almost playing a little bit of chess. They understand that they can pay these running backs because they can kind of pay them in that 4, and like, oh, they can pay Kenneth Walker as a top 4 running back. Why? Because 2 key running backs, Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs, are going to reset the market. Like, that's what's going to happen. Gibbs and Bijan are going to reset the market in the next couple of years. So if you pay $15 million now for, like, say, Kenneth Walker, next year it's like, are they really going to, like, what's the problem? Like, all of a sudden now, okay, now it doesn't look as bad because now how much, well, again, Gibbs and Robinson deserve that money. Don't get me wrong, they're incredible. But at the end of the day, you'll look at it in like the rearview mirror and understand, it's better to pay like these backs now when it's not inflated like it may be in a couple of years. Like, what's crazy too though is, I will say, them making more money than James Cook kind of shocks me. Like, James Cook only making like just under 12 mil. The fact that Kenneth Walker is breaking the bank right now is a little wild to me. But that being said, Chiefs are making some solid moves. They also kept their long snapper, James Winchester, 1 year, 1.75 mil. Always good to have consistency on special teams. And then Khyiris Tonga, who I surprisingly, last year, I didn't watch a whole lot of the Chiefs, so... Oh, no, he was on New England. Really? I feel like I did not... In the entire Super Bowl run, I feel like I saw this guy maybe once. He reminds me a lot of Danny Shelton just because of the hairstyle. Actually, no, Danny's was kind of shorter and, like, lighter. So maybe I'm just thinking of, like, Troy. He just has Troy Polamalu hair. Yeah, but it looks like just like a run-stuffing defensive tackle, so... Wow! Holy crap. Bears, Vikings, Cardinals, Patriots. So... Yeah, so basically like a run stuffer. They could use that, especially alongside Chris Jones. Because Chris Jones is not getting any younger. They could use some help, so... Not overall bad work by Kansas City so far. I'd give it like a, like maybe a C plus B minus so far. And then trading Trent McDuffie and getting those picks, of course, is going to be helpful for them. But they're going to have to retool their secondary a little bit because losing McDuffie and Jalen Watson, they still have to figure out what to do on the back end there. I'm just going to check my phone real quick because in the last 20 minutes, I wouldn't doubt it if some other big move got traded, and I'd be sad if I didn't talk about it. Reed Blankenship, Eagles safety is going to Houston, 3 years, $24.75 million. I didn't expect Philly to be able to keep him. I'm actually kind of shocked. That seems for, you know why? I think it's because the safety market's going to be very good. Like, the safeties that are going to be in the draft, so maybe that affected his contract, because it feels like Reed should like have a little bit more money than that, but maybe I'm crazy. Marcus saying Chiefs have confirmed his last name will be Swift on the back of the jersey. That'd be, dude, oh my god. If that'd be so funny, dude. Dude, just Travis could you imagine the Jumbotron announcer not the Jumbotron announcer, but the walkouts, like if when you go to an NFL game, they announce like the starting offense, right? And you have to hear Travis Swift as a Chiefs fan. Like as a diehard Chiefs fan who's been one for like, let's say like 20 years, you have to hear Travis Swift and you're irate. Jay's in the chat. Jay, what's going on, brother? Let me give you a round of applause for that. Appreciate you, man. Those of you who are here, make sure you're locked in. Make sure you're dropping a like and subscribing and following. I appreciate y'all. Jay saying sources a Mr. Trust Me. Look, man, you can trust me, all right? I am a great source of information. I am fantastic. just trust me, man. I know what I'm talking about. I know it all. I know everything. And then Easton, don't worry about it, bro. I got ESPN. Thank you, Easton. I appreciate it. Keeping me updated. Keep me on my toes. I'm sure if something big happens in the next hour, chat will just explode. But I'm gonna run through the rest of the AFC West. I don't know what's didn't Denver released Dre Greenlaw? I saw that. I'm not really sure why. I mean, I guess maybe cap hit reasons, but I mean, didn't they also lose Singleton too? Like, they lost a majority of their inside linebackers. Like, nothing crazy. Biggest sign, I guess they're keeping Singleton. They're keeping Dobbins. They're keeping Sam Ellinger, who I guess was QB3, which I didn't even know that. And then keeping Justin Strand on a 3-year deal. No real signings, though, for Denver, which is shocking. I feel like if you're a team that came up just short, and also I think I didn't see much from Seattle either, I'm a little surprised Denver's not trying to make a couple more moves to try to get over the hump in the AFC. Because they were kind of, like, say what you will, Bo Nix didn't necessarily get better from year 1 to year 2. It was basically the same thing. Yeah, I guess JK did re-sign Jay. But I mean, like, I don't know. J.K. Dobbins is basically like Megatron now. He's got so much metal in his legs. Like, it's just... he's never healthy. Like, I can't think of a single... Actually, fun fact about J.K., he's who I wanted in 2020 when the Steelers drafted Chase Claypool. J.K. Dobbins, who I wanted, and then we got Claypool, and I was happy for like a year, and then hated that decision after that. Like, he had one 10-touchdown year, and I think it was just like, really not even 10 touchdowns. He had one 4-touchdown game, and that was like it. I was like, bro, okay. Like, come on, what are we doing? Easton says Kenny Pickett to the Panthers. I did see that, and all I had to say is that's tough. That's tough for Kenny. I was thinking about it earlier because there was a time in I'm trying to think, it was his rookie year or no? It was definitely it was either his rookie year or his second year. No, it was definitely his rookie year. He had back-to-back game-winning drives in prime time against the Raiders and the Ravens, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, could you imagine? Like, I was thinking in my head, Kenny Pickett's the man. Oh my gosh, he's the man. He's so good. He's gonna be the future. And then he was a bum. And now he's 4 teams in 3 years, I think. It's Panthers, Raiders, Eagles, or Browns. Was it Browns or no? It was Steelers, Eagles, Browns, Raiders, Panthers. That's tough. For a guy who was only drafted in 2022, that's tough. That's a brutal one. Can he pick let's see, high knee instead of a stiff arm? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, just get him with the metal knee. Get him with a giant metal plate. Who else did the Panthers get? I'm just gonna hop teams. Jalen Phillips. Oh, that was see, here's the thing. The Panthers get Jalen Phillips. I'm shocked that it was $120 million. Like, $120 million to Jalen Phillips is kind of nuts. Because I'm gonna be real, I thought he would cap out at like 90. 120 is kind of ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, very good player. And it's still gonna be good. But I mean, like, that's a lot. I get it. Carolina wants to make a push. They want to win now. They want to try to add more pieces, add more pass rush pieces. But my goodness, Jalen Phillips, that's a lot of money there, Carolina. When you have a lot of other needs. Fine, a good signing, but 120 mils is like crazy much. Crazy amount, I think. Especially because I've seen some other wacky. They also got a Caleb Evans. They're keeping a Caleb Evans. I don't even remember a Caleb Evans on the Panthers, bro. JJ Jansen, though, is a GOAT. JJ Jansen's been there for a while. They're long snapper, so nothing crazy. But the Jalen Phillips one definitely makes me feel like Carolina's trying to just straight up win the NFC South again, which I don't have them doing, but Jalen Phillips is still would be very helpful for them getting another pass rusher in there. Cards get Minshew like WTF. Easton, man, losing. Well, I mean, no, that's actually not true. I was gonna say Minshew had an ACL tear, but I think it was. Did Minshew? I thought it was like just a significant bone bruise. Like, is it ACL or? Yeah, it was initially to be a torn ACL, then it was a non-displaced tibula plateau fracture. It still ruled him out for the remainder of the season, but it's not. It wasn't full ACL. Huh. I guess I don't know. But yeah, I mean Gardner. Here's the thing: Gardner goes to Arizona. Is he start? There's no way he starts, right? Like, didn't Jacoby? Did they? Is Jacoby Brissett's a free agent? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Jacoby's a free agent, so they're not keeping him. Right? Like, yeah, Jacoby's still a free agent right now. I don't think he's been signed. I guess the Cardinals plan to keep him, but they haven't done it yet. It could still be Minshew. It could be Gardner Minshew in Arizona. Easton saying Kyler Murray's a bum. Dude, you know where he's going. He's going to the Jets. Or the Vikings. It could still be the Vikings. We haven't heard much about Kyler Murray news. I'm hoping to hear something by the end of the week. That'll be interesting to see where Kyler Murray ends up. And then Jay saying Kenny Pickett is a lot like that friend who's always around. You want him to leave, but he just sticks around. Yeah, that one friend that just stays too long everywhere he goes. Yeah, that one's brutal. That's a brutal one. Just sorry, Kenny. It's time to go home. Man, let's do something. Let's do something, man. Let's do something. Well, let me go to the Arizona. They've actually made a couple moves. I like Arizona getting Algier, though. They got Tyler Algier, Falcons handcuffed basically all these years for Bijan. I actually like that because James Conner being out, I like that a lot, actually. Algier going to the Cardinals is going to be good because James Conner, we don't know what his status is being fully back healthy. I'd like to see Algier in more of a role. Because now, instead of just back up to Bijan. Because, like, at least with James Conner, there's a reasonable, like, argument they'd probably split carries. But with someone like Bijan, you just know, yeah, it's Bijan's workload. So, and then Bijan fantasy owners are going to be very happy to see that he'll probably get more work. But Algier should be an interesting one. I'd like to see that work. They added Isaac Suamalu. That they stole him from Pittsburgh. Very upset about that. Not really all that bad. They had punter. They had Blake Gillikin punter. Chad Ryland as their kicker. Roy Lopez on the D line along with LJ Collier. And then Kendrick Bourne, who's not a bad receiver at all, who can definitely have some big games for them. So I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I actually do like the Algier one. I think Mike LaFleur might have something up his sleeve for him. At least I hope he does. Because I want to see Algier actually get some opportunities. What about the rest of the West? Yeah, Seattle hasn't done anything. Anyone think that's weird? Super Bowl champ, wanting to maybe repeat, not being that aggressive. Like they kept Rashid Shaheed, which is a lot. Like 3 years, $51 million feels like a lot. I mean, very good special teamer, but again, I don't know. And then Josh Jobe, like good. Those are good players. They contributed to their run, but I'm surprised Seattle's not going to be a little bit more like, you know. Like, I'm surprised they're not going to try to repeat for a Super Bowl. That would have been my thought. Ooh, 49ers. Mike Evans signing. Okay. We get in on Mike. Mike, I love you. You're going to be a Hall of Famer. I think you should be a Hall of Famer. Brother, 49ers should not have given you that contract. How much did they pay him? How much did they pay Mike? Was it 3 years, 60? 3 years, 60 mil. 3 years, $60 million for Mike Evans, who, very good, don't get me wrong, but is now 33 years old, is coming off one of the most injury-prone seasons he has had in his career, to a team that already has significant injuries all the time. The Fred Warner going down, Bosa was down, Kittle's going to be down. McCaffrey outside of this year is usually down, right? Brock Purdy was hurt at points during this year. Trent Williams missed time. And now we're bringing in... I like Mike. I really do. But the way this signing is like... The way this signing, I believe, is being looked at is like, this is the difference, right? This is going to be the difference in the San Francisco 49ers being able to make a run. No, it isn't. Not at all. Not a chance. I love Mike. I love Mike a lot. But Mike's 33. He had his most injury-prone season. And what difference is it going to make in San Francisco? I don't know. I don't think it's going to pan out. I think $60 million is a lot of money to just be given away over the next 3 years to, again, a 33-year-old wide receiver coming off injury. I don't like it, and I'm surprised the San Francisco 49ers would do that. I wouldn't have made the call. I wouldn't have been giving up this much for Mike Evans personally. He'll make San Francisco better, but I do have concerns about him being healthy. Easton also saying, I found your YouTube stream, and then coming in from nice, Easton. Look, we're getting up our numbers on both ends. We're double dipping, okay? You don't double dip at like food, event parties, whatever, but you can double dip here on Primetime with Phil. You can double dip here on Free Refill. Then Jay thinking, you think it's because the team is on the market? Why Seattle ain't going all out? I didn't think about that, actually. I forgot they're for sale. But I don't feel that should matter. I mean, that might be the reason, but I would still want to be aggressive and try to win a championship again. Like, if I'm a new ownership, I don't want to sit back and be like, oh, I'm going to be passive. I don't want to win another Super Bowl. That's weird. I already have one. Like, I feel like they should. Maybe that is the case. Maybe that's why. And hopefully they're a bit more aggressive in the draft. And again, free agency's not over. But I mean, a lot of the big stuff happens in the first couple days. Usually those first big moves happen in the first couple days. So it's very hard for me to say, Seattle, lost free agency. There's still more, but you really should be quick out the jump to try to get guys over here. So that would be my argument for the Mike Evans one. What were some other big ones? Oh, let's go Alec Pierce. So I was talking about Michael Pittman. Alec Pierce, man, I had a point and now I just got distracted by chat. What about double dipping a friend's girlfriend from Dick McGavin? Well, Dick, I mean, I'm gonna say yeah. I would pass on that. I don't think that's what you should be doing. I don't think you should be first dipping. If I'm being honest, I don't think you should be dipping the first time. Oh my gosh, no! I wouldn't be dipping the first time. Like, that'd be my concern. Oh, you know what? Here. Let me give Make Mr. McGavin, there's your round of applause. Well done, sir. Very, very happy. Very glad to see you out here. Very good job, Mr. McGavin, over on Twitch. Appreciate you for popping out. Make sure to drop a follow, man. Make sure to drop a follow, Mr. McGavin. Oh my gosh. Anyway, where was I? Alec Pierce. Let's get into Alec. Alec Pierce, who had a very good year with the Indianapolis Colts, had 20? I think it was 21.3 yards per catch, something like that. Maybe it was 21, 22 yards per catch. Very impressive. Gets paid $114 million over the next 4 years. A contract. And then, of course, the Colts go ahead and place Michael Pittman on the trade block. They send him over to Pittsburgh. Now, I like Alec Pierce. I had a feeling, and I think a lot of people also had this kind of feeling, that someone was going to get bitten by Alec Pierce in free agency. It might be the Colts. Now, it's cheaper than what I would have thought. What I would have thought is that Alec Pierce was at least getting $30 million. It's still a lot for any receiver, because when you look at the receiver market, he's getting, on average per year, paid like a top 10 receiver. I don't think he is. He's an incredible deep ball guy. He's a great deep ball guy. There's not a whole lot outside of his game other than that, and it's like, what do you want me to do about that? Like, I don't understand why Alec Pierce is getting all this money. I mean, I understand why, but I'm just shocked that for a guy who only had 47 catches last year, like, he's Mike Williams. You're paying Mike Williams. That's what it is. It's white Mike Williams. And I'm a little shocked that that's going to be a record-breaking contract, especially when you consider I think the Colts are going to have issues in other aspects. And listen, the Colts got off to a blazing start last year, but there's still some problems there. There's some things that they need to figure out. I'm just a little shocked that they transitioned immediately Alec to their number one receiver when he did not have a great year in catches. Let's see what other free agency. Rico Dowdle. Really? That just happened? Did I just hello? Oh yeah! Holy crap! Rico Dowdle just went Steelers. I just got that. Wow. Okay. Gosh. I mean, I like Kenneth Gainwell. Honestly, it depends. How much is that? I'm about to open that right now, see if they have a number tagged with it yet. Because Rico Dowdle, I like that. Again, like having a comparison to having a nice like dual threat with Jalen Warren. I always like Warren, but the problem is Warren needs a compliment like to him. Now it's going to be Warren, Dowdle, and Caleb Johnson. I don't know. Honestly, guys, Steelers drafted Caleb Johnson. I kind of quit on him after week 2. Because after muffing that kickoff, I'm like, buddy, you're not getting touches. What did they have him at? Go Dowdle contract. Where's he at? Okay, they signed him. I hope it's not too much. I doubt it is, considering he kind of fell off the second half of the year. But Rico Dowdle. Let's see. Let's see what he ended up accruing. Well, yeah, it was one. He's definitely gonna make more than that. I'm wondering if it came out. Hasn't come out on contract base. I'm trying to see. I don't know if anything's come up yet. All right. Well, I'll find out later. I like that signing though. I like getting Rico Dowdle there. That's it's not the best running back room in the league, but it's very solid combined with Warren, with Dowdle, and hopefully with a better version of Caleb Johnson. That's what I'm hoping. Check Twitter, bro. All right, fine, man. I'll open my phone. Jeez. Mr. McGavin said, been doing it wrong then. Listen, you know what? I'm not here to judge you. You're here to live life. I'm here to answer your questions. You don't have to heed my advice. You're more than welcome to do whatever you want. But I'm just giving my perspective. And then we have Daniel Jones. We have Daniel Jones here coming here. The Daniel Jones making his appearance. Telling him I'm teaching Alec Pierce to salsa. He's going to be my white Victor Cruz. Oh my gosh, dude. Alec Cruz. Victor Pierce. That's good. That's a good one. You know what, Danny? You keep training him. Danny. I believe in you. Go ahead and teach him the Mamba, teach him the electric slide, teach him Cotton Eye Joe for all I care. Go ahead. Get him dancing out on the gridiron. I was about to say court. I would say court for whatever reason. Rico Dowdle's good. Isaiah Likely to the Giants was the other one. Let's go to New York because I've seen some good stuff there. Let's see what they've done so far. Giants. All hail the New York Giants. New York Giants! Anyway, the Giants, they did go out and get Likely. 3 years, $40 million. That's pretty solid overall. I'm interested to see Likely in more of a starting role because, I mean, yeah, he was the starter in Baltimore, but it's really hard because it's kind of like a 1A, 1B situation to Mark Andrews. And I think Likely is a little bit more athletic than a guy like Bellinger was in New York. So you'll definitely get some range in the red zone. You'll get some versatility out of, because he's kind of a receiver almost. You can put him in a lot of different spots. He's like a this is weird to say. He's like a diet Kyle Pitts. Like with what Kyle Pitts did this year, he's kind of like a diet Kyle Pitts, which is weird because it feels like Kyle Pitts is already a diet version of something else. But Jermaine Illuminor, I think is a solid signing. I think he's like 31. So it's at least good that they're keeping the offensive line consistent. He's not like an amazing tackle, but I think that's good to keep him. And then getting Tremaine Edmonds to replace Bobby Okereke, or Bobby Okoreke, I think that's how it's said. I'm okay with that. I'm not getting crazy hype about Tremaine Edmonds in the big 2026. Like, it's a good signing, and I think Tremaine. How old is Tremaine? Because he came into the league at 19, didn't he? Like, he was young. He's only 27, so there's actually okay. I mean, you'll have your options there with Tremaine. So, I don't hate that. I don't actually hate that. 27-year-old linebacker. I mean, gonna be younger than Bobby Okereke. As tough as it is to lose someone like Bobby, I think it's a solid signing. Daniel Diamond said, any news on my coffee gopher Richardson? Best coffee order in the game. It's what do you treat him like an intern, Daniel? You just make him go get your coffee? That's actually kind of hilarious. You know that they do that. You know that somebody's getting sent out there. Let's see. I don't know if there's news on Richardson. I know the Jets could make a swing for him, but not much is in the news so far in terms of where Anthony Richardson might be headed. I know there's been like some rumors of where, but unfortunately, Daniel, I don't know. Anthony hasn't been moved yet. I have a feeling it's going to be the Jets. I have like a crazy feeling that the Jets are just going to do the exact same thing they did last year. But that'd just be maybe too cruel almost. Let me get back on track here. Let me run through just divisions now. AFC North. Okay, I got some stuff. This is about to be a clip moment. So the Ravens. Let's start with them. Obviously, we talked about Max Crosby. That was a big get. Going out and getting John Simpson. I thought John Simpson. Oh no, it was the Jet. It was on the Jets, right? Yeah, he was a Raven though. I'm not tripping. He was a Raven in 2023. So bringing him back. I mean, he started all 3 games over the last 3 years, so I can't be mad at that. That's a solid get for a lineman. Not incredible, but again, you're only paying him $30 million over 3 years, so it's not the craziest thing. Let me talk Browns. Actually, no. Before I get to the bad, let me talk about like the mediocre / kind of good. We talked about the Steelers getting Michael Pittman, keeping Cole Holcomb. Also, I've always been a fan of Cole since he got there. He's been just my little white linebacker. He's done a good job there. You got Jamel Dean. It kind of scares me. I like Jamel Dean. The issue is if he turns immediately into Wash Darius Slay, I'm gonna low key crash out. Like not a high level crash out, but like a 4. Like a 4 level crash out, just because it's like predictable that would happen. 4 out of 10, by the way, not 4 out of 5. But I hope Jamel's going to be good. It'll be nice to see him, and then we keep Asante Samuel. So in terms of our cornerback room, it would be Asante Samuel Jr., Jamel Dean, and then Joey Porter Jr., which is actually very solid. Like on paper. On paper, that should be solid. And then keeping Cole Holcomb is nice. And of course, bringing up the bottom of the division are the 2 Ohio teams that have no idea what they're doing. First of all, I'll start with Cleveland, what I believe to be the less bad one. The entire offensive line of the Cleveland Browns just got absolutely gutted. And it should have. And it should have been gutted. Here's the problem. You are now, let's say if you had trash in your house. Let's say, oh man, I've got some trash in my house. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of this trash. And then you know what? I'm going to decide to replace my trash with, manure. But, maybe a plant will grow out of the manure. That's the logic. That's the logic from Cleveland right now. The 2 players that they have gotten free agency, the only 2 players that they have accrued in free agency are offensive tackle Titus Howard and offensive guard Zion Johnson. Both of these guys were wildly below average in the regular season. They were uncharacteristic, just completely average, maybe even below that, right? And instead, let's go ahead and trade for Titus Howard, right? And then pay him 3 years, $63 million. Because, he was a below average tackle, so we should pay him, $20 million a year. Then let's go get Zion Johnson, who was not good on the Chargers. We all saw the Chargers' offensive line. We knew it was bad. Let's go out and get one of their starting linemen, and then pay him, I don't know. Let's go what? You think $16.5 million over the next 3 years? And by the way, the next 3 years, $16.5 million each year. It's coming out to $49.5 million. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What? In what world? In what world are you going to gut your offensive line and then replace it with arguably worse versions? Malpractice. Malpractice at its finest. It reminds me of last year. Last year, the Tennessee Titans signed Dan Moore Jr., who, by the way, did get better each year he played. But he would never got better than being an average left tackle. And they sent him a 4-year, $84 million. I mean, actually, I don't want to misquote that. It might not be 84, but it was a huge contract. It was like $80 million plus over 4 years for an average left tackle who, by the way, this past season gave up 8 sacks. people want to sit here and be like, this is so hard. Being a GM is so hard. How about this? Just don't overpay guys who are average. How about that? Just don't. Just don't do it. You look senile. And Cleveland just did it with not one, but 2 offensive linemen. And that's it. That's all their free agency has been. I understand you need to gut your offensive line. But don't just gut it and then put the guts back. Like, imagine gutting a pig, taking a different pig's guts, and then putting it into the pig. Just make bacon. You're trying to resurrect a dead pig. Just make the bacon. Move on. Goodness gracious. And that's not even the worst. That's not even the worst thing out of the AFC North. The worst thing out of the AFC North free agency so far has 100% been the Cincinnati Bengals paying Boye Mafe a 3-year, $60 million deal. Why? Because he was on a Super Bowl winning team where he started 4 of 17 games. He had 9 sacks in 2023, and then his sack total decreased the next year, and it came all the way down to 2 this year. And I get it, Cincinnati needs a pass rusher, but $60 million? $60 million for Boye Mafe. You know what? Should have just given the money to Israel. Just should that. Honestly, if you're going to pay Boye Mafe that much, I don't know what to tell you. I do not understand how you were going to pay $60 million to a backup defensive lineman. $20 million a year. What? Just give it to me at that point. Give it to me. I'll start a business. I can start a business with that kind of money. And yet here we are. Bengals paying Boye Mafe. Their other signings are fine. Like Brian Cook is okay, right? Because they just miss, Jesse Bates. Jalen Davis, they re-signed. Dalton Risner, they re-signed. But Boye Mafe had absolutely no business getting $60 million. Now, to Boye's credit, good job. You straight up fleeced him. I don't know how you did it. Well done. But this is malpractice. This is why Cincinnati, despite having Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, somehow is 3rd in the AFC North. In the AFC North, where you needed 11 wins. You needed 11 wins to get out of there. This is part of it. It's a disgusting mess. It's ridiculous. And it's malpractice. And I think it's going to be the reason Joe Burrow leaves. Daniel Jones says, bums like him need to put it in the bag. Anthony, put the coffee in the bag. All right, come on. Easton also saying, Kyler Murray to the Vikings. It's official. Oh, I just read Kyle, and I saw Kyle Allen being signed by the Bills. Oh my gosh. Kyler Murray, though, is a Minnesota Viking. You know what? Gosh, that I don't know whether that's good or bad or not. It says that was 3 days ago. Expect to sign with the Vikings. Kyler Murray to the Vikings. Okay. If that's the case, then I will say this. If that is the case, Kyler, with all due respect, can we not play video games post October? This is what's gonna happen. Okay, you know what? No, this is perfect. Kyler Murray to the Vikings. Listen up. Fantasy people, pay attention. This is very important. Kyler Murray goes to the Vikings. You know what you're going to do? You're going to draft Justin Jefferson. You're going to sell him around week 8. You sell Justin Jefferson high at week 8. And then you will win your fantasy league. You just sell him high. That's go to tip and trick. If Kyler Murray is genuinely sound with the Vikings, that's what that's going to be. Where is it, by the way? It hasn't popped up on my end. I don't know. Whatever. Does it really make a difference? Does it really? Does it really make a difference? Here's the thing with Kyler. The weird thing about what I've seen with Kyler Murray and the discourse around him is that Kyler Murray is underrated. Or Kyler didn't have a good enough supporting cast. Or that Kyler Murray couldn't figure it out. And they're not wrong. Arizona didn't help develop him particularly well. The issue is, when you're a number 1 overall pick, you don't have... you have to kind of elevate your team a little, right? I think Joe Burrow, despite missing the playoffs last several years, has definitely elevated Cincinnati because without him, I think they have the number 1 pick in the draft the majority of the year. Like, or at least a top 2 pick, right? Maybe not top 2, like top 4. I think they'd have a top 4 pick in the NFL the last couple of years if it wasn't for Joe Burrow. Where in Kyler's case, you have to elevate the team, man. You're a number 1 overall pick. You've been given. It's not like you weren't being given weapons. It's not like your offensive line was completely like you're acting like his offensive line was like bottom, like not even top 20 every single year like Burrow's was. Like he had some years with some decent help, and he just couldn't put it all together. And obviously, tearing your ACL doesn't help matters. But I'm going to be honest, it just wasn't helping. Kyler Murray would disappear basically after October. It's like, what do you want him to do? There's not much there. There's not much he can do. It is what it is. I think in Minnesota, maybe he can get a fresh start. But seriously, if he wants to actually win, he's got to lock in. You have to be more poised and care more about the football team and be more of a leader than he was in Arizona, because he wasn't. He was kind of zoned out in Arizona, to be completely honest. So maybe he can figure it out. I hope he figures it out, but right now, I don't know. We'll see if he's able to figure it out in Minnesota, though. So that would be the hope. That would be the hope. And I see Anthony Richardson is here. Anthony Richardson making his chat. He's gotten coffee. He got his coffee. Well done. Saying Danny is pissed. Danny pissed in the coffee all year. Danny's. Oh no, Anthony pissed in the coffee. Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow, Anthony, that's rude. That's so mean. Why would you do that to poor Danny Dimes? He just wanted some coffee, man. Why you got to be like that? What else here? What else? What are the big ones? Lions improve on the offensive line a lot. They went out and got Juice Scruggs, Larry Borum. Man, I've always, funny thing about Larry Borum, I had a Madden franchise where he was a tackle for a long time, and basically somehow he kept getting signed despite the fact that he was the worst tackle in the league. I don't know how, but he'd always end up a starter. Not that he's the worst in the league in real life, but in the Madden franchise, he just wouldn't develop for whatever reason. So he always ended up as a starter, yet he was always the worst starter in the league every time. It would blow my mind. And then Cade Mays. Cade Mays was honestly underrated as well. I don't know that. I heard it from a couple people that Cade was underrated in Carolina, that didn't give up a sack all year, which might be true. But look, shoot, Cade. Good job, man. You solid, and you get a chance to go play for the Lions. So, Lions, of course, need to retool their offensive line, so that makes sense. Packers getting Zaire Franklin, acquiring him. I don't know did Zaire fall off at one point? Is he already in the league? What's going on? Yeah, not quite the same tackler last year. Didn't have the same type of production. Still, that'll be good for Green Bay to have. I would imagine getting another piece of the puzzle on there. Drew Pauly saying Drew, that's a new name. Hey, Drew, how's it going, man? Let me get you your round of applause there, boss. Thanks for pulling up. Drew saying the pricing of all these free agents is ludicrous. Honestly, it's a crazy amount of inflation. And because of that, it's a lot, because a lot of these guys, I'm gonna be honest, they're maybe starters. I'll do a great one. I'll do an example. I'll go to the Jets right now. We go to the Jets and we look at their entire free agency. I see maybe one guy that's a guaranteed starter, and it's Minkah Fitzpatrick. If we look at the Jets free agency class, right? Why can't I find it? Am I insane? It's at the top of the page. Jets free agency class. Breece Hall, first of all, being paid like a top 5 back, too much money. Jelani Woods, they re-signed, fine, backup tight end. But Joseph Osai getting paid $12 million a year. Some guy, Kingsley and Agbare. I didn't hear that man's name once all year, right? And that man is getting paid $10 million. Is that what we pay for borderline starters or it's also what's weird is that feels like a 1 year $10 million is a prove it deal. I'm okay, sure, but prove it deals are given to players who struggled previously. And then, they need to bounce back this year. So this is, prove that you still got it. Did this dude have it? Did this dude have the chops to be getting a prove-it deal? I don't think so. As far as I would know, I would imagine more people would have known about him then. But Doesn't seem that way to me, partner. I do. That being said, like, also, DeMario Davis, I think, is honestly underpaid. But I mean, like, David Onyemata, probably just going to be a rotational piece. And then paying Minka $40 million when he's gotten 2 picks in 3 years, and the whole point is that he's a takeaway guy. I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, listen, it's better. It's better, right? It's better than what the Jets would have had. But I mean, it's the Jets. They like, why are you overpaying for somebody that hasn't gotten less interceptions and 2 interceptions in 3 years? That doesn't make sense. Like, what do you want to be more? Do you want to have less likely a chance to get interceptions? Okay, say less. Drew also saying, I'm an Eagles guy. I like Jalen Phillips, but man, $30 million is crazy. Josh Sweat is a much better player, and he got 19 last offseason. Yeah, like Josh Sweat in Arizona has played really well this past year too. Like, it was one of the really, like, was half of their sack total. Like, he was one of the best guys. And when I'm looking at something like, and when I'm looking at particularly, for example, let's say Jalen Phillips, yeah, that's a lot. I would have thought he would have been paid at $90 million, but I don't understand why Carolina would overpay for that position. Carolina's got other needs too. Like, they are not just, I mean, fine, you want a guy to pay her with Derrick Brown, makes sense, but I don't think Carolina is a complete enough team where you could say, let's add Jalen Phillips. That'll be the difference between, like, us winning the division, us, like, winning a couple playoff games. I don't see that as being the case. Right? It's bizarre. It's just a bizarre thing, and I don't fully get it. Has Miami really done nothing else outside of sign Malik? I think Miami just signed Malik, and that was it. Well, I guess they traded away Minka for that 7th rounder, which is also crazy to trade someone away for a 7th round pick within division. That's like still, I mean, maybe not the prime in his prime, maybe a little washed, but still like a starter. Kind of wild. I wouldn't have done it. And then also Drew saying, yeah, it's not what they're missing. Well, to be fair. For the Jets, they're missing everything. They're missing everything outside of maybe some offensive linemen because they actually have some young guys that are pretty good. But I mean, good lordy, or maybe that was the Panthers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who you're talking about there, but either way. And then even past performance stacked up. They aren't really close on availability and production. I know the cap went up, but my God, dude, yeah, like dude, I was mentioning it earlier. But Bengals paying Boye Mafe 3 years, $60 million. Is absurd. It doesn't make sense. It truly, 3 years, $60 million. He started 4 games last year. 4. What happens? We gonna start paying guys who start 2 games? 1, 0? Is that where we're going? Is that what we're getting? Is everyone just gonna make massive amounts of money like this? Is this what's gonna happen? There ain't no way. Ain't no way that would make no sense. That would make no sense. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. There's been a lot of free agent signings that have just been absurd. What are some other big ones? Ooh, wait, there's one I haven't even mentioned yet. I don't think I've mentioned it yet today on the stream. Tua turned the ball over is an Atlanta Falcon for the veteran minimum, which. I mean, for Tua, I mean, whatever. You're still making a bunch of money. But, yeah, $99.2 million in dead cap is a crazy hit. But on the bright side, Atlanta, you now create the all-handed or the all-left-handed quarterback room. And you could really do it if you went and traded for Dylan Gabriel. Like, go get Dylan Gabriel. Make a full left-handed quarterback room. But in all seriousness, this is, I wouldn't call this an A, but like it's still very good, I think, for Atlanta because you don't know the level of where Michael Penix is going to come back healthy. You'd like him to, but you're unsure if he's going to be able to get back fully healthy. And you can at least have Tua as like, okay, fine, we'll start Tua, and then if we don't think he's that good enough, then we can just get Michael Penix back. Like you lose nothing. You lose nothing from signing him. Like, yeah, you lose a roster spot at quarterback. But was anyone really going to fill that up? Number one, and number two. Like, Tua's still only 2 seasons removed from a Pro Bowl year. I still think Tua could put together some decent play, especially with weapons like Drake London, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, etc. I don't know. I don't think it's impossible. I think they could put something together. And you said y'all hear the national guys probably raving tomorrow on how great the signing was. Dude, yeah, it's absurd. Like every single time. Like also, the thing is with signings and talking about them, especially on like national TV, it's just what's the point? But not that what's the point? It's more of like you can just claim and make any claim that makes sense. Like people were raving about Dan Moore Jr. Like it doesn't make any sense, you know? Like Dan Moore Jr. getting played is just crazy. Marcus, I'll say, Philly Blunt's about to get signed 2 years, $16 million, and he ain't never played. I hope so, dude. If I get paid 2 years, $16 million, every single bit of that is like going into some sort of like savings account. That's all I'm doing, and then I'll just have like I'll still have a really small apartment. That's why I never understood too. If you're an NFL player, can't you just like get a small apartment, save all the millions of dollars, and then just like then when you actually like that's what I would do. I put in like an offshore savings account or something, or like find a way to get it. I'm sure there's tax breaks that they could figure out. And Drew also saying, dude from the Chargers, and then said, much love, brother. I subscribed. Got to head out and watch Raw. Appreciate you, brother. Go enjoy Raw. I got to be wrapping it up soon here as well because I only got a few more minutes. I haven't even eaten yet. I am hungry. I might have to wait till tomorrow to even do more free agency recap because there's obviously going to be more. And there's stuff here that I still haven't talked about, like Kenneth Gainwell. Like Kenneth Gainwell signing with the Bucks. Underrated signing. I'm going to miss him so much. We had such great times together, Kenneth. I'm gonna miss you a lot. I'm gonna try to get Kenneth on my show. I would love to interview Kenneth Gainwell because I loved him this past year. Rams, of course, got McDuffie and Jalen Watson, so basically copying the Chiefs' cornerback room. That'll be big for them. I like Travis Etienne going to New Orleans, but also it just feels like a slightly younger version of Alvin Kamara. So I don't know how much different that's gonna be. Any big ones? Bears made a surprising amount of moves. They went out and traded for Garrett Bradbury. They signed Devin Bush. Can't believe Devin Bush is now somewhat good now after he wasn't good for us. Like after like one season, very upsetting. A lot of moves from the Commanders. Apparently, they kept Laramie Tunsil. They got Dietrich Wise, Tim Settle, Amik Robertson. And then they gave the $100 million to Odafe Oweh, which I mean, yeah, they needed a pass rusher, but did you really have to shell out $100 million for Oweh, who is good. I mean, he's solid. Don't get me wrong, but that feels like a lot of money. That feels almost like Albert Haynesworth level of money for the level of player that they're getting. I don't know. Eagles keeping Jordan Davis, which is big because they've been hinting that they might trade Jalen Carter. So there still might be big trades coming up in the next week for big stars like someone like Jalen. So that should be interesting. Then the Cowboys, they're just forming the Packers defense. They went out and got Rashawn Gary now to pair with Kenny Clark. They're just making the Packers now. So, but him, Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams, and Rashawn Gary should be a scary front four. Part of that front four. These are gonna be some interesting ones. Trevor Penning, oh my gosh, I remember him. Not quite a smash hit for the Saints, but he's now going to play with the Chargers. Tyler Biadasz, 3-year, $30 million for the Chargers need to do a lot with the offensive line. They're keeping Khalil Mack for $18 million this year. Gosh, that number doesn't even feel like. And then of course the Raiders. That was the big one though. The Linderbaum one I thought was the biggest win of all of free agency because it's nowhere close, right? I feel like 100% when we're talking about the Raiders and something like that, yeah, that's huge. That's a massive gain. So to get what a lot of people are saying is basically the best free agent and at the biggest position of need. So I thought that was a huge win. And then the Titans, the Tennessee Giants, basically. I mean, with Wandale, they now have Brian Dable. Where is he? What, is he not on the list? I swear they signed Bellinger. Did they not? Or they've not. There's not. It might not be popping up on me from my end, but I swear they were doing that. Whatever. Maybe I was tripping. Maybe it's somewhere else. But I mean, this has already been a very entertaining free agency class, and I'm excited to continue seeing it unfold as we proceed to the future. But that's gonna cut it for the free refill of the 50th episode, the 50th installment of Free Refill. A little fun little trek through free agency. I'm sure it won't be the last time. I'm sure I'll probably do it towards the end of this week and then probably even maybe the beginning of next week, depending on if there are bigger things going on. But again, I appreciate you guys for pulling through, man. We had a fun little romp through free agency. I will, of course, be back here tomorrow for another episode of the Primetime Podcast itself. So I appreciate you guys pulling up, of course, making me laugh too. I saw some funny comments today, so this was a good episode. I'm happy about it. I'm hopefully I can have some time this week to edit because the work has been a pain in my ass, to put it lightly. So hopefully I'll be able to get around to editing some shorts and finally getting them up on the YouTube channel as well as out on Instagram and TikTok. So let me just get through the comments again, and I'll kind of see Jay here saying, as a lefty, I don't claim that QB room. That room is. Dang, you lefty, Jay. Dang, I would never guess. I'm just ready. Yeah, I find that what's weird is I know the people I know that are left-handed. Like, it's weird. Like, you don't necessarily categorize people who are right-handed, but like you think of someone like, oh yeah, shoot, they're left-handed. That's crazy. You like think of lefties right off the bat. It's brainwashing, is what it is. Look up the space Steven Adams was renting. It was a small room with a mattress. Yes, my cuz was, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I were a player at the highest level, I don't need much. Like, do you know those memes where it's just the room with the mattress and the TV setup, and it's not even like a mattress sometimes. It'll just be like a oh my god, like a deck chair, like a lawn chair or something like that. One of those collapsible chairs. Like that would work for me, man. That's enough. You know, I don't know how easy it is to make me happy, man. It's too easy. It's too easy. That and some peace and quiet. God damn it. That's it. Yes, my cousin was traded. Your cousin was traded? Your cousin? Your cousin was traded? No way. Steven Adams? Well, actually, was you talking about Steven Adams? Steven Adams, your cousin? If Steven Adams, your cousin, Jay, I can't believe you haven't mentioned that before. That's a very impressive one. We'll have to see him. We'll get Steven Adams in here. I feel like Steven Adams would actually be so fun to talk to. I imagine he does this a lot, though. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I don't know. I haven't seen much. I've definitely seen him talk before, but not necessarily podcast P stuff. But anyway, Garrett. I left my wife this. Tell my wife this all the time. Gave me a little TV, a beanbag chair, and let me be. Oh my gosh. Okay, Garrett Bradbury. Oh yeah, shoot. I was like in my head, like Garrett Bradbury being a Viking, or no, not a Viking. He was a Viking. Where is he? A Bear, right? He's a Bear. So back within the division. Well, not even poor Gary. He's probably going to be a starter because there's no more Drew Dahlman in Chicago. So he'll get his shot. But yeah, the little TV, beanbag chair, and like, you know what? Honestly, Roomba. A remote control Roomba. So I can just, if I'm feeling lazy, I just like Roomba, go get, or just a dog. I could just train a dog to like open the beer with like a little like thing and grab me like either a beer or a snack or whatever. I would have fun. I've had a good time. And speaking of a good time, unfortunately our good time comes to a close now. Another installment of Free Refill, episode 50. I am going to go make myself a meal, sit down, eat, and I think there's you know what? I'm gonna shout them out right now. If you're here right now, go check out D&E Takeover. They're probably live right now, so go ahead. If you still want to get in on some more free agency talk and chat up with them, go ahead on YouTube. They're over there at D&E Takeover. So shout out the boy. Got to shout out our fellow content creators out there. So I appreciate y'all for showing up. I will be back tomorrow to discuss more free agency. I'll get into the NBA. I'll look to try to recap into some NBA stuff. I want to watch some basketball while I also watch them over there as well. So appreciate you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening. This has been Philip White. Free Refill, episode 50. Peace, y'all.